watch this shit, bro. Cause niggas saying tipping is ass, tipping is good. Let's see what Birdie has to say about tipping, bro. Me personally, I think that tipping is like a double-edged sword, bro. Because some people might need the tip, and sometimes you may not want to give the tip, but I feel like you should give the tip depending on the circumstance. You know what I mean, bro?
Tipping is a scam. Well, sometimes. When you tip
literally
somebody
sometimes
at a restaurant, it's for their good service.
Facts.
You should be able to just go out of their way and give them a tip because you, as the customer, feel like you were provided with exquisite service. But no, absolutely not. Here in the US, that's not how things work. You are almost required to leave a tip. And if you don't, I mean, shit.
And yeah, I feel like when niggas start feeling like they're entitled to a tip, pause. That's what makes it so scummy when it comes to like tipping and shit, bro. Like, I don't know. I used to DoorDash. And I ain't gonna lie, DoorDash be paying you $2 per order, $3 depending on the type of system you pick. So nigga, if I'm gonna drive 30-40 minutes to give you your fucking food, I'm low-key expecting a tip. I'm not gonna lie. But it's my job to still give you the service regardless of a tip or not. You know what I mean?
Shit, bro. They might as well have thrown your food on the floor and, like, stepped on it. They should have took all the ash off their cigarette, put that shit on food, too. You know, just really sprinkle that in there. In most countries...
And 9 times out of 10, the customer ain't even gonna know for real. Just saying. You ordered a 10-piece, nigga? Yeah, recount them. Bet you weren't counting them when you were eating them. Couldn't even tell that I took a little bit of your fries too, buddy. Hey, that Coke you got? Just know I drunk a little bit and then I put Diet Coke in that bitch. Bet you ain't noticed.
It says, tipping remains as a small gesture of gratitude. That's all it really was supposed to be. And now since these companies want to underpay their workers, now we have to take money out of our pockets. Or else these people are...
Bro, that shit is mad weird too. And I don't know how true this is, but I had a few friends work at Texas Roadhouse and they said they only get paid like $2 to $5 per hour. And that most of them rely on tips to get paid. That is disgusting, nigga.
Are not gonna get paid. And that's why I tip a lot, you know, with every meal. Like, I make sure I leave a good tip. And in most cases, I do leave a tip. But if I get bottom of the barrel service, like the waiter was really rude, I'm not leaving a damn tip.
I'm not tipping them, bro.
And that's why sometimes tipping feels like a scam. Because it feels like you're obligated to leave a tip, no matter what. Or else you gotta peel out of that restaurant fast and hope to God that they don't chase you out of the restaurant. There was maybe like a couple times.
Nah, or I hate when they try to add the tip on top of the bill. Like, who do you think you are? Trying to take my money and automatically apply it to the food that I ordered. You're the server too. All you did was ask me what I wanted, gave me my drink and maybe my appetizer, and then my entree. That's all you did. Like, what the hell?
One time I was at a restaurant with my friends. This was like a couple months ago. And the server was just being an when she was giving out straws, she literally threw them at the table and threw the napkins as well. And the napkins flew everywhere when she threw them. And we had to pick them up. Even
no
though
one told her
there
to
was
work
nobody
that job,
else in this
bro.
restaurant, she took extremely long to get us our drinks. And her tone was just overall rude.
Bro, me and Lana went out to we went to Tilly's. It's just a clothing store. And I bought all my clothes, right? Mind you, we're the only people in this store. I bought my clothes, realized, damn, I could have got a military discount. I asked the lady at the front counter, I was like, yo, can I refund this and get the military discount and then repay for it? Why did she sigh? You have 3 hours left on your shift and we're the only niggas in here. If you don't want to work this job, find a job that gives you more money. Like, why are you mad, bitch? It's your job.
I mean, she might have been going through some shit. I don't know. But there's no...
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, too. They might be going through something, but bitch, don't take that shit out on me, because I will not take it out on you.
Reason for you to take it out on us. Like, what did we do? And after that, we agreed, hell nah, we are not leaving a tip.
And I know she was mad.
Time for us to leave, this shit actually cracks me up to this day. My friend wrote tip, $0, followed by poop on the receipt. I was in the bathroom when this happened. Everybody else peeled out of there, and I had no idea. But when I walked out of the bathroom, I heard the waitress screaming. She was like, no tip, are you kidding me? And I just ran out
Like, why did she feel obligated? You gave shitty service, bro.
of there and got to the whip as fast as possible. My friends are telling me to
That's
hurry my
respectable,
ass up, bro,
Judea.
because shit, they didn't want her to follow us out of there. And never in my entire life did I peel out of a parking lot so fast. But another time I don't really tip is when a cashier flips around the iPad and says, all right, it's just gonna ask you a few questions. All right, it's just gonna ask you a few questions. I'm not gonna lie though, sometimes I fold.
Yeah, no, on these ones, I be folding, bro. Because I feel like if I don't press something or I press 0, they gonna look at me and they gonna punch me. They gonna punch me right in front of the counter, bro. Like, no bullshit.
And I press
I be
like
folding
10%
sometimes.
or something. Like if I got a coffee at a coffee shop. But if I got a shit ton of food, I'm not leaving a tip, bro.
Facts.
It's gonna cost me an extra $10, $20. There was a time where I felt so bad, I left a $20 tip. I'm not even kidding. So the store was about to close. I think it was a Chipotle. I was with one of my friends, and I felt so bad because I was that one dude that...
Bro, but like, in that, like, Chipotle, how do they even distribute the tips? Do they distribute the tip among each, like, person, or like do they change out the tip jar depending on who's at the front? Y'all have never actually thought about that
before
shit.
closing. They were cleaning up and everything, and my ass just showed up. And I knew exactly how it felt. I once had to deal with that. You know, everybody and their moms seem to love pulling up 5 minutes before closing.
That's
the
facts.
whole gang is showing up. Now we're there 30 minutes later. So yeah, I felt bad. So before I left, I literally dropped $20 in their tip
Yeah,
jar.
that's
That's all I
crazy.
had on me, so I just decided to leave it. But I didn't get bad service. And if I did, I would not have left a tip at all. And usually when I leave a tip is when I'm like getting a haircut at a restaurant, in an Uber, etc. But it's crazy that in the United States, even if you walk into a barber shop and they give you this lopsided haircut, like, oh, we messed up, gotta go bald type of
Yo!
haircut, you still have to leave a tip. Insane.
Hey, that's why you gotta always make sure you got your own barber, bro. That's gonna get you right every single time. I'll be so goddamn to go and get a haircut just for that nigga to fucking shit on me, bro. Hey, that's why I started cutting my hair though too, cause these niggas be making their prices up. Why the barber I used to go to, who was charging 20, why is he charging 50 now with the tip? You buggy.
Some reasons why tipping is good, but there's also a lot of reasons why tipping can be a scam. Tipping before your service.
Facts.
Usually when I order DoorDash or some shit, I have to leave a tip before I even get the service. This dude could eat half my burger for all I know, and I'm...
I never done that before though.
Still giving
I
a
never did that
20%
before though.
tip. Or you could take forever with my food and
Yo,
just
Great
sit in
Clips is a
parking
crazy
lot or
pull.
some shit. And the
Imagine
food is
going
cold
there.
as hell
Hell
by
no.
the time it gets here. Still leaving a 20% tip. Because I don't even think you can change the tip that you leave once you leave it. I'm pretty sure it's already set in stone, so you're cooked. There was one time we didn't even get food that I ordered, and I still left a tip. I got the money back for the missing items, but...
Hey, that's
not
one
for
thing
the
about
tip.
me though, bro. That's one thing about me. Every time I got a motherfucker food, it was always right. I
Number
never had
two,
no complaints.
tipping when there was no service provided. Why is it when I put an online order there, it's asking
That's
me
what I'm
for a
saying,
tip?
Jay Blaze.
I'm doing it myself, bro. Like, what service is being provided to me? It would be different if it was delivery, but it's not. I gotta go there myself and pick it up. Number three, the tip amount goes up even though the
Hey, bro, this nigga stole this fucking... He stole this arrow from me. I be using this shit in my fucking thumbnails, bro. This nigga wanna beat me so
service
bad, bro.
doesn't change at all, which is pretty dumb. I'm not gonna lie. The amount of times I'm talking about DoorDash, you probably think I'm fat as hell, but it's a good example of what I'm trying to talk about. If I were to place an order that was like a buffet of food for me and my family to eat, now you have to tip $30, $40, which is wild because the service did not change much at all.
That's
And it
facts.
sucks because, well, shit, it's not socially acceptable below 20%, 15%. And it doesn't matter what we think, we're stuck doing it. Like, even though it feels like a scam,
Yo,
I
Jay,
still
they
gotta do
fleeced
it.
your
They
shit,
are
bro.
practically drying out my pockets. It's ridiculous. Which leads me to number four. People might not even be able to afford it. Like if somebody goes to a restaurant and they only bring $20 to pay for their meal, now they're screwed because they gotta leave a tip too.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. If you go into a restaurant and you only got 20 on you, nigga, you might as well just cook at the crib, bro. You could have bought fucking food and cooked that bitch, bro.
You know, I'm lucky YouTube is doing well, and seriously, thank you all. Otherwise, I don't know where I would be. I don't think I'd even be able to afford to leave a tip, let alone go to a restaurant. I would 100% be living in a box or some shit. And what sucks is that people are also reliant on our tip money. So it's kind of a weird dilemma that could be solved if corporations just pay these employees just so they wouldn't have to rely on tips as much. Like when my brother worked at a restaurant, he was getting paid $4 an hour.
So I wasn't making that shit up, bro. I wasn't making that shit up, bro. But why do they even think that's humanly possible? $4 an hour in this economy, nigga? Oh yeah, you got me fucked up.
And he had to rely solely on the fact that they would leave tips. And that's why people, number 5, tip out of guilt. Sometimes I tip because I feel bad. There are some times where I should not have left a tip and I did. I mean, if they were being rude to me, obviously not. But if the food was just mid, like I feel bad, like I still would leave a tip. Like even though I just ate mid-ass food, I don't know why the hell I'm leaving a tip. Or like I said earlier, when the cashier flips around the iPad,
$4 insane is what I'm saying, bro.
And I just have to press an option, or else they're gonna look at me with a mean mug.
I ain't gonna lie, every time that option comes up though, I'll be putting like $2.
Well, I'm sitting there waiting.
I'm not putting anything crazy.
Tipping can also be a good thing sometimes. Number
like
one,
$1.
you can express gratitude for good service. I think this is how tipping should work. I don't think people should feel like they're being held at gunpoint to tip. Like, that's just ridiculous. It should just be one of those things where you leave a tip when you feel like it or when it's necessary. You know, if you feel like you got a
it's literally mad disrespectful to even tip in other countries, bro.
But then, like, you know, you should be able to leave a tip.
What's good, Cal? Shit, stretch far enough type
good
shit.
Service. If people are handing out tips like no tomorrow, people are going to do a bad job and think, well, you know, I'll get a tip no matter what. But if tips were given for good service, then people will actually be motivated to do a good job, waiting your table or giving your haircut or whatever. Like sometimes my Uber driver, when I'm traveling, will literally put my luggage in the trunk himself and make sure the car is at a perfect temperature. Like, damn, bro, you're doing too much, but I appreciate it. But I always leave a tip though when I'm with an Uber driver because shit, as long as I get from point A to point B in one piece, I think that's all that matters. And even if service doesn't go perfect, like obviously some fuck up happened, I'm still gonna tip them. I need to get that red interior. Shit, bro, as long as they're not rude, that's all I really care about. Number 3, it helps you build a rep with specific workers. If you're in a certain restaurant a lot, you know, they'll be sure to give you good service.
Red interior,
or if you're getting a haircut, they're not gonna fuck up the cut, bro. They wouldn't do you like that. Helps you know in the back of your mind that they're gonna put in the work to give you good service because they know you're gonna leave a tip.
But I gotta get a new car, bro, before I like start
make
doing
livable wages. It sucks that it has to be this way, but these employees don't get paid enough to do whatever they're doing. Back when I was working at a grocery store, I felt like I was not getting paid enough to deal with these Karens. The shit I had to put up with sometimes was just ridiculous. Sometimes people would like slip a $5 bill to me, even though I wasn't even allowed to take tips. I just took it anyway because I was taking any money I could get at that point.
Hey, that's real, nigga. Hey, clapping for that nigga.
Somebody that was in high school trying to pay for college. But I don't know, man. Nowadays, I feel like the job market's kind of because people with degrees may not even get a job anymore. And they may not even be able to make ends meet with the job that they get. And they still have all this debt they have to pay, which is just absolutely wild. Crazy picture. So yeah, a lot of these jobs have to take tips or else rent is due. And they may not even be able to pay rent. But number 5, leaving a tip just feels good. I know I'm like probably the most negative guy on the channel and this is probably as positive is gonna get. I don't know, man. I just feel good whenever I leave a tip, and I'm sure the people providing the service feel better knowing that people leaving these tips will actually help them pay their bills.